I usually, when I start some of the lectures, I do the salawat and I get a very cold salawat. I don't know if it's probably just me. So I'll start again. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. قال الله تعالى في محكم كتابه الكريم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وإن خفتم شقاق بينهما فابعثوا حكما من أهله وحكما من أهلها إن يريدا إصلاحا يوفق الله بينهما إن الله كان عليما خبيرا صدق الله العلي العظيم. Brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Social analysis of divorce. Now, if you read this title, you look at, you take the social analysis part, and you look at me. I'm not a sociologist, right? That's number one. And then you look at divorce, and I'm certainly not an expert on divorce, right? But however, inshallah, we'll try to sort of talk about what's the Islamic point of view of divorce. What are the reasons that are causing divorces in this country and in the Muslim communities. And what's important is that we all as a community need to come together and tackle and address these very, very important points. It greatly saddens me, and I'm pretty sure it saddens you, to hear of a divorce case in our community. And you always ask yourself why. That's the question you always ask yourself, why. And unfortunately, again, we have this issue in the community where people like to know about divorce cases. You know, they think, oh, have you heard this person or this person are divorced? You know, tell me more, tell me more. And it gets a bit more, you know, gossipy, so to speak. And it gets more interesting, it gets more juicy. You know, people love to know about some divorce cases, which is sad, really. I mean, it's a bit sad in our community that we're interested in these cases rather than trying to come together, as like today, inshallah, try to come together and try to discuss about what are the reasons. Why do we all think that we're getting these divorce cases? And inshallah, today I'll give 5 reasons. And I'm pretty sure you guys have more reasons and probably better reasons, but I'll try to take these 5 reasons and through my very humble research try to take these 5 reasons and try to explain them Islamically as well, go back to the Quran and try to find some solutions for them. So research in America, North America, said that if you attended 6 weddings this summer, right, 2 of them are likely to end up in divorce. I'll give you some statistics as a start. In Lebanon, 30% of marriages result in divorce. So 1 in 3 result in divorce. In Malaysia, this is striking. Actually, someone told me in Malaysia, it's very low rate of divorce. But through my research, I found no, it isn't. In Malaysia, a Muslim couple gets divorced every 15 minutes. And now you have also online divorce services. Seriously, you have online divorce services where if you want to go divorce, then you go to the online service and then obviously you just, you know, go through the process and they'll make the divorce for you. I think they bring 2 witnesses for you and things like that, and then it's all sorted, right? So it's sort of like an encouragement in society where we have online divorce services and so it's a norm. Which, as you very well know, Al-Quran and especially and the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi came down heavy on divorce. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi said, أَبْغَضُ الْحَلَالِ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ الطَّلَاقِ. The most hated halal in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is divorce. And so, it is not liked in Islam that you go through divorce because it's a breakage of this love between the couple, this love that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has established between the couple. The ayah that inshallah we will go through later on that will speak about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala establishing this love and mercy, al-mawaddata wa rahmah, وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. So therefore today inshallah we'll talk about this, and I also want to say very quickly that this topic is not, I think it's for everyone. I genuinely believe so. I think it's for everyone sitting here. If you are a single person, I think it's more for you than a married person. Because if you go through these reasons why people getting divorced, and inshallah you go over also some of the solutions, then you know what to expect in the future. You know what you're going to go through maybe in the future, and you know how to plan for it. And of course for married couples as well, and of course for those people who have unfortunately gone through divorce. So inshallah this is for everyone, and inshallah through the question and answers, if we have some time, then perhaps you can contribute to the discussion. So the first reason, brothers and sisters, I know it's just before iftar and it's quite difficult to concentrate, but I hope inshallah you can concentrate for a few minutes. So the first question is, according to my humble research, by the way, and you probably, you know, some of the reasons I might talk about, you say, no, this is obviously wrong. But through my humble research, I found that the first reason in our community that people are divorcing is because of the in-laws. La ilaha illallah. Our in-laws, right? They interfere so much in the marriage that it's becoming unbearable. It's becoming unbearable for a couple to actually function. So you have the in-laws, mainly unfortunately is the woman, right? The mother-in-laws. The mother-in-laws of the father, the husband, and the mother-in-laws of the wife. They seem to love to interfere. They seem to love to come and perhaps sometimes innocently come and give some certain suggestions. What I say is as follows. I say that there's no room at all for in-laws to interfere. However, you must be always open for advice. If they come, of course, they're experienced. They've gone through a marriage themselves, and they very much know what was going on. So if they come and tell you about a particular issue, you should always welcome this particular advice. However, when it gets too much, and you should know what is too much, when they start really interfering in society, in your marriage, and they say, for example, what has he got you? Has he got you flowers this week, or has he got you things this week? And unfortunately in certain aspects also we have that they interfere in your personal issues. They interfere in your personal relationship with your wife, right? Which is not very nice. But I think it's also the wife or the husband's fault as well for actually accommodating their views quite a lot. Because you should come at the start and tell them, look, my mother, I respect your view. My father, I really respect your view. And I also respect your advice. However, I have now committed myself to another person. He is half of me, right? He is half of me. So therefore, we can try to deal with our affairs by ourselves. In a respectful way, of course. You don't want to break up your relationship with your parents. Of course, that is not recommended in Islam. You have to always respect your parents. But I'm pretty sure that you can actually negotiate with them and come to a conclusion where you have some sort of a line where you say, please do not please, this is the line where you should stop, and don't come and discuss some personal issues between me and my husband or me and my wife, right? So this is the in-laws. And if there was to be a situation where the wife is sort of getting mistreated by her in-law, her mother-in-law, or vice versa. Everything is vice versa here. I'm not picking on any side, right? Everything is vice versa, and it's quite nice to see. The brothers. I can point here, the sisters here. It's not a mixture or anything, so I can say brothers, sisters, very nicely split. So if it's from the sisters and if it's from the brothers' side that they're interfering, it is your duty If it's your actual mother or father, to come and tell the mother and your mother or father, look, this is where you stop. You should not interfere in this. The situation we have in the Iraqi community at the moment as well, it's quite special as well. Let's ponder about this. We have a situation where quite a few of our fathers have gone back to Iraq, right? And they've found jobs there and quite successful there. And I want to shout. Leave me to shout. Okay. No, they can't hear me. Is it fine? Shout? Okay, I'll shout. I'm going to get angry about this. So we have a situation where they have gone to Iraq, right? And they're living there, and they've left their wives in London, and sometimes their wives go back and come back and things like that. I'm not going to talk about what they're doing down there. Some people might be having some other issues, but that's a different story, right? But the issue is, what concerns me is that when the wife is alone, when the mother is alone, right? Mother of her children, she's alone in the house. And sometimes, in some cases, some of the brothers, once they get married, they agree with their wife. They tell them, is it okay for us to visit my mother more often because she's alone in the house? Or in some special cases, and of course, you have to try to find out if that actually satisfied the wife. In some special cases, it's okay to take the wife and live in her in-laws because she's a mother, she's old, she's getting old, things like that. This actually is causing huge problems in society. And you find that, unfortunately, some of the sisters are sort of not agreeing to do that. And perhaps they've got the right not to do that. But it all depends on the circumstances. It all depends on what has the husband offered for the wife to come, if he has offered her to come and, of course, live in her own space, has her own space, house, especially if it's a big house, right? And of course has her freedom and things like that. But the sister, the wife, should always think about the Islamic benefits of this. She is actually benefiting, regardless of why her husband has left her and gone to Iraq and things like that. You think of your husband and you are benefiting and you are actually helping his mother, who is in fact your mother also. And we all know what's the importance of mothers in Islam. So what I say is this, that if we were to come to a situation where this is happening, then let's try to be easy a bit. Let's not try to cause frictions and cause disagreements and cause some hatred between the husband and wife, especially if they've just got married. If they've just got married and then he tells her, come and live in my mom's house, and she says, no, I will divorce you if you do that. Let's not talk about divorce as the first option. We usually have the first option is divorce. Leave me alone. Right? It's good that we have in our Shia faith that is not like 3 talaq, say 3 times divorce and that's it, you're ended. We have to bring 2 witnesses, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it a bit more difficult than marriage. Remember the difference between marriage and divorce. Marriage is extremely easy. You don't need any witnesses. Of course, this is an Ahlul Bayt faith. Shia viewpoint that you do not need any witnesses of any kind. For marriage, just between the two, you say a few words, give dowry, and that's it. In divorce, no. You need 2 witnesses to come and say, yes, these people are getting divorced. So, in-laws is a problem, and I have to move on, unfortunately, as much as it's a big problem, we need to discuss it more. The second point is the lack of love, incompatibility. There is, unfortunately, when they tend to engage in a relationship, they start having this, relationship, get to know each other, etc., and things like that. I speak from the brother's side. I don't know about them, but let's speak. Very important to be honest sometimes and not leave things. If we're going to come and tackle this particular issue, we have to be honest. What we have in our society is that the brothers, I believe, and I don't know, probably in the terms of the sister side, is that their emotional side takes control. The emotional side takes control of this relationship, that they do not develop this true love between each other. So they want to get married so that they can satisfy their lust, not because they actually want to live with this person for the rest of their lives. And they do not want to establish this Islamic relationship between them. Sometimes when we look at Islam, we find it's a fantastic religion, but it's absolutely also fine to go back to other religions and take some wisdom. I wanted to go and look for the definition of love. What does love mean? Maybe I don't really know much about love. Right? What's exactly the definition of love? And I found a very nice Christian definition of love. I'm sure there is a Muslim definition, of course, of love, and I have my own definition, but it's absolutely fine to also narrate some of the other religious issues. Before that, I just want to ask a question. So we said there is a problem sometimes when the couples come together and say, yeah, you know, I want to get married to you, you want to get married to me, etc. And the father, you speak to it goes to speak to his father-in-law, and you know, they agree on things, and mahar, and it's £100,000 and all these things, and you get shocked and you go back and cry to your mom and things like that. We all know all these things, right? But once you settle about the issue, you come together and say, okay, we're going to get married here. Once they get married, they divorce after 2 months. They divorced after a year. Why? Because they didn't found they were much compatible with each other. No, I don't really love you, man. I love someone else. Right? Why? So, if we go back to the Quran, Quran says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim in Surah Al-Lum, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُمْ. You've all heard this. خلق لكم من أنفسكم أزواجا لتسكنوا إليها وجعل بينكم مودة ورحمة. And one of his signs is that he created mates for you from yourselves, that you may find rest in them, and he put between you love and compassion. Right? Love and compassion. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put love and compassion between couples, why then do they not have love and compassion once they get married? Have you ever pondered about this question? If Allah is saying, I guarantee you love and compassion, once you get married, I guarantee you will have love and compassion. But then you see in the society that you have quite a few cases where they say, why are you getting divorced? You say, I don't love her. Why did you marry her then? I don't know, she looks nice. Or he looks nice. Right? We have these very... 8 minutes, wow. We have these... No, that's not right. Half an hour. He's cheating on me. Right? Okay. So why is that the case? So let's go back to the definition of love. So there is this definition of love that says there's 3 types of love. There's the first love that says this is the eros love. None of you guys have heard of this. This is the eros love. Basically, it's the sexual love, the strong feelings towards each other, the emotional love. Right? And again, you have the second type, you have the philos love, which is a love based on friendship. And the third type of love, I don't know if I can pronounce this, is the agape love, or spiritual love, more like. Right? I call it the spiritual love. What I believe is that people tend to, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I have put between you these 3 types of loves, and especially spiritual love. But there are people who only use the physical love, the physical attraction between each other. And once they come and actually deeply think about this love, the spiritual love between each other, they can't find it, because they do not want to find it. It's very delicate. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala installs this love between you and your husband, between you and your wife. But there are unfortunately the cases where the couple are only interested in their physical bodies, that's all. And which is absolutely fine as the first type of love. But however, they leave the other types of love, which are much more important. These are the mawaddatin wa rahmah. This is the mawadda that the Quran is talking about. Right? So this is the main reason. And of course there is another reason which says that some people have such bad hearts that they don't want to even consider the true love. They don't even want to consider it at all. At all they want to consider. Once they get married, they try to find certain reasons to try to get to divorce. Maybe get the in-laws interfering, maybe saying, you know, you didn't tell me about this. Bring some excuses so that they can separate each other, because they say, oh, I couldn't find love between them. No, there is love. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created this love between you two. Try to find this love. Do not, again I say, this is the second point I say, do not think always about divorce as the first option. This is what is corrupting society. The first thing is so easy to get divorced these days. The first thing you think about is, no, I want divorce. Try to work it out. What does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say? He says, إِن يُرِيدَ إِصْلَاحًا يُوَفَّقِ اللَّهُ بَيْنَهُمَا. If they wanted harmony between them, surely Allah is knowing. Allah will bring them. If you truly want harmony between you two, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will install this. So, okay. The third issue I will say very quickly is abuse. Unfortunately, brothers and sisters, believe it or not, right? Of course, there has been abuse from both sides, right? I'm going to narrate this ayah. That's probably, if you ask all the brothers, this is the most favorite ayah. But you know what? Seriously, they don't have a clue what it means. I'll tell you why. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الرجال قوامون على النساء بما فضل الله بعضهم على بعض وبما أنفقوا من أموالهم فالصالحات قانتات حافظات للغيب بما حفظ الله. Of course, this needs like a 1-hour lecture to explain this. واللاتي تخافون نشوزهن فعظوهن واهجروهن في المضاجع واضربوهن. This is what Al-Quran says. Quran is saying, now everyone's interested. Quran is saying, hit them. So Quran is saying, فَإِنْ أَطَعْنَكُمْ فَلَا تَبْغُوا عَلَيْهِنَّ سَبِيلًا إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَانَ عَلِيًّا كَبِيرًا. Men are the maintainers of women because Allah has made some of them to excel others, and because they spend out of their property. The good women are therefore obedient, guarding the unseen, as Allah has guarded. And as to those on whose part you fear desertion, admonish them and leave them alone in the sleeping places and beat them. Then if they obey you, do not seek a way against them. Now, some of the brothers have taken, unfortunately, this issue about وَضْرِبُوهُنْ as an excuse to come and hit. I say this. Make sure, brothers, you go and understand what the meaning of this ayah. What's exactly the meaning of وَضْرِبُوهُنْ. وَضْرِبُوهُنْ here does not mean that you can go and hit your wife. وَضْرِبُوهُنْ means that you can only come and touch your wife. And of course, ulama have gone into detail into like what is a touching. You cannot put red marks, etc. Touch her only if she has been proven that she is guilty and not following the marriage agreement between you two. And if she has gone away from Islam, or she's doing she's actually going and sleeping with someone else and doing some other things, right? So basically, if she has left Islam, if she has gone out of the agreement between the two, the agreement between you and your wife, then Islam comes and says, if you were to come and punish the wife, then you may come and just slightly hit her. Now, there is controversy. I believe, and this is my personal view, that I don't think this is applicable in this society. If I was a marja, I'll say this is not allowed, right? But the Quran says that, and I believe it's fine that we interpret the Quran on different times of the community. Right? So I just wanted to make this very, very clear. When it says وَضْرِبُوهُنْ, there's a lot of conditions that must be met. A lot of conditions. I don't have time to go over the conditions, but I beg you, brothers, to go and read about it, because in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala you will be punished. And I say some of the sisters as well, there has been some abuse. So abuse, brothers, if I was to get a message across today, abuse must be stopped in our community. Abuse seriously must be stopped. The brothers, if you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created the strength in you, you must not use it against your wife. You must use it to protect your wife, not to use it against your wife. This is unfortunately what has been happening, where some of the brothers are using their strength against their wife. So, and also this issue about الرجال قوامون على النساء. Don't come and tell your wife, you know, the Quran says, I'm قوامون على النساء. Go and read, what does قوامون mean? قوامون means you are responsible. It's in fact a duty upon you. I read a very interesting example. It says that if someone is driving, right? If a husband is driving and the wife is that's usually the case, the wife is in the front seat, right? They can't both of them drive. Right? They come, the wife sort of holds the steering wheel and the husband holds the steering and both of them drive. It just doesn't happen. The man has to drive, right? Has to hold the steering wheel and drive. You can't have two people driving. So therefore the man is responsible for the household so that they can reach somewhere safe. Literally in the car, so you can reach somewhere safe, right? So the man, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you all know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it compulsory on the man to work and bring money to the house where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not given any responsibility to the woman. Give me one responsibility that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to the woman in a marriage relationship. No responsibility at all. Not at all. There's no one responsibility. Allah hasn't even said you are responsible to bring up your children. He says it's up to you. But the man, he has given a lot of responsibility. So when he says qawamun, it means he has given you responsibility. It's bad news for us. Don't come and say, oh, it says qawamun, you know, I'm better than you. No, it's not. Not bad news, but okay, 1 minute. Just one other point as well. It says also in another ayah, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu. If some of the sisters feel that this wadribuhun is unjust, come and read this ayah. It says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu, la yahillu lakum an tarithu an-nisa'a karha. ولا تعضلوهن لتذهبوا ببعض ما آتيتموهن إلا أن يأتين بفاحشة مبينة. This is إلا أن يأتين بفاحشة مبينة وعاشروهن بالمعروف فإن كرهتموهن فعسى أن تكرهوا شيئا ويجعل الله فيه خيرا كثيرا. I think the sisters should memorize this verse. Wherever you talk about men and, you know, women equality, and some people accuse the women, Muslims of the men abuse, you come and say, this is what the Quran has said. It says, O you who have attained to faith, it is not lawful, this is men, it is not lawful for you to become heirs to your wives against their will, and neither shall you keep them under constraint with a view of taking away anything of what you may have given them. It's all protecting the woman here, unless it will be that you have become guilty in an obvious manner. So this is what we said about guilty. If she has, you know, become non-Muslim, or she doesn't go with the marriage agreement, then there are certain circumstances. And consort with your wife in a kindly matter. This is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, consort with your wife in a kindly matter. For if you dislike them, it may well be that you dislike something which God might yet make a source of abundant good. My fourth and last point, before Abu Dar sort of hits me, is bad akhlaq and anger, right? There is an ayah in the Quran. It says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, وَسَارِعُوا إِلَى مَغْفِرَةٍ مِّن رَبِّكُمْ وَجَنَّةٍ عَرْضُهَا السَّمَاوَاتُ وَالْأَرْضُ عُدَّتْ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. Says, be quick. If you want to be one of the muttaqeen, be quick. So it's a race. Be quick in the race for forgiveness from your Lord, and for a garden whose width is that of the heavens and for the earth, prepared for the righteous. Says, who are these muttaqeen? Those who spend freely, whether in prosperity or in adversity, who restrain in anger, and pardon all people. الذين ينفقون في السراء والضراء والكاظمين الغيظ. والكاظمين الغيظ, كاظم الغيظ means that they describe it as how the balloon is sort of blown up. And you know when the balloon is blown up and reaches a maximum capacity, it wants to blow up, right? كاظمين الغيظ are those who comes and stops it just before it blows up. You know when we get angry, we reach a point where we really want to start shouting. That's the point. Those are الكاظمين الغيظ, those who will stop just before they start to really shout and get angry. Those are كاظمين الغيظ, those who are المتقين. Right? So, let's all try to control our anger, because it does, if the husband starts to shout at the wife, then the wife will start to, and then they start having these agreements, and then the first option is divorce, remember. So they go and try to find suggestions. Now, last thing, just 30 seconds, Abu Dhar. I want to give a suggestion, a practical suggestion here. I don't want to give a lecture and then go home. Well, I will go home after the lecture, but anyway. I want to give a suggestion for the IMM. The fifth point, I believe, is we have lack of marriage education and counseling. That is why we have a lot of divorces. And by the way, I blame our ulama, I blame our imams, right? When they come, and when you tell them, oh, there's a problem and things like that, yes, they say, you know, no, you should, because Islam says that we shouldn't divorce, let's try to make this right, etc., etc. And you say, no, it's not working, and things like that. But they don't come and actually, before they come and bring two people together in marriage, they take them through counseling. It's absolutely fine. It's not offending. This is not mental health counseling. You're not going to go to a mental health institute, right? This should be for everyone. I think it's obligatory. I love to have counseling now, marriage counseling. Not because I don't have a bad relationship with my wife, but it might improve my relationship with my wife, right? I think for those who are currently married and for those who are wanting to get married, the ulama should make it a condition. Before I will come and you invite me to your house for aqd and let me do aqd for you, I want you to go through 2 hours of marriage counseling. Maybe, if the IMM is willing to do so, maybe we can suggest it to our ulama. Say, look, we can come up with this counseling, we can bring experts, right? And whoever comes to you and says, we want to get married, say, okay, you know, I think you are very much suited with each other, but go and contact this person, let them go through these 2 hours of counseling, just find out what is it like. I've read actually some people have gone through counseling for probably 3 hours, I don't know, and they've said, oh no, we don't really like each other. They've decided they want to get married. After counseling, they said, no, yeah, it's good we went through counseling because we don't really like each other. It's not about liking each other, it's about knowing whether you're compatible with each other. Whether you know what marriage means. Some people just go and commit themselves to marriage and then they find out, no, this is not what they wanted. Remember, they satisfied their lust and at the end they find out, oh, okay, I've satisfied their lust, but I don't really like this woman. So, let's all, in these holy days, try to seriously come together and think about how we can tackle these very, very important issues. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
أحسنت. If Brother Ali Shkala would come up quickly, and then if someone bring him up a chair as well.